All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 21 of Daily Brotein with Kyler. So it's episode 21. Like I said last week, I was hoping to interview. Obviously, that is not happening this week. I haven't been able to schedule one yet. Obviously, still looking for people to interview, but in the process for that. So, um, just a little catch up. I hope everyone had a good Valentine's Day weekend. Whether you were spending with the significant other or family or friends or whatever you did, I hope everyone enjoyed that and had a good weekend. I went out of town to Monterey with my girlfriend Monday and Tuesday, so I'm kind of thrown off this week. Like yesterday felt like Monday, but it was Wednesday, and today feels like Tuesday, but it's Thursday. So it's definitely making the week go by fast. But like I said, we had a great time. I had never been there, so it was something new for me. Nice little getaway for a few days. So definitely enjoyed that. But like I said, it is Thursday. So today's episode, I'm actually really excited for the topic. I kind of came up with it, kind of dawned on me like last night, this morning, what I want to talk about. And so it's exercising for aesthetics, so for appearance, versus exercising for performance. And just kind of comparing the two, the pros and cons, and kind of what I've experienced and what I think is most beneficial to most people for their health and wellness. So exercising for aesthetics, so obviously for appearance, which is why most of us, believe it or not, most of us work out because we want to lose weight or we want to look better. It's usually for an appearance goal to better our self-image and our self-esteem, whether we like to admit it or not. I've definitely been there multiple times, to either put on more muscle mass or lose weight or just, change the way you look. That's usually the reason why people want to go exercise. And there can be benefits of that. Obviously, it's good to boost your self-image, boost your self-confidence. When you start to look better, do you feel better? That definitely helps. But I do think from what I've experienced, there can be a lot of negative side effects if you're just purely focusing on appearance and how you look. And I'll kind of go over why I think that. Obviously, in this day and age, there's a lot of pressure from social media. I mean, I think there's always been pressure, for self-image out there, whether it was through TV or magazines back in the day or whatever. Like, obviously, the media puts out a certain image that leads you to believe that you need to look a certain way, for females and males, for it goes both ways. But nowadays, I think it's even worse because, most people have a cell phone, most people have social media, and constantly taking in, images of people that, they think are really fit, and some of them, I'm not saying, again, I don't want to generalize and say they're not fit, but there's a lot of tools out there, whether someone's taking steroids or some kind of, performance enhancing drug, or maybe, there's Photoshop. There's so many things out there that can kind of alter the image, even just a little bit, and doctor it to make it look like how they want to. Because it's purely advertising. Unfortunately, that's what I've learned from being on social media and like thinking about doing online business and stuff like that, is a lot of it is to draw people in. You got to catch their attention, and things that look good, people that look good in your shape, obviously you're going to catch more attention than, something that may seem boring to the viewers. So that's a big one. Again, that's why I said that's why most people work out. But on the negative side, so your body weight, fluctuates. Anyone that's trying to lose weight, kind of sees the yo-yo. It goes up and down your body, which is totally normal. Obviously you don't want it to go, if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to be gaining weight, consistently, but it will fluctuate from week to week. Like I even had, just example, a client that I trained today, her weight had gone up a little bit last week. And I told her, like, don't worry about that. Like, you've been consistently losing weight week to week, it might just be this week or something's going on, with your body, yada, yada, yada. Could be stress, there's so many things. And for females, like if they're on their period, like I've read studies that show, increases bloating, but it goes away. Like doesn't mean you're gaining weight per se. Like I said, again, if you're consistently gaining weight, then it's more of an issue, right? Then we kind of figure out exactly what the problem is. But it could be stress related, you could have had a weekend out, and ate more food than you normally do, or took in more sodium, which can lead to holding on to more water weight. So there's lots of factors that can, what's the word I'm looking for? Lots of factors that can contribute to your body weight changing. Even the time of day and day of the week that you weigh yourself can definitely play a factor. Like they say, and I always recommend, weigh yourself first thing in the morning. Usually go to the bathroom if you have to. I don't drink any water, and I basically just weigh myself with my boxers on, and that's it, to get the most accurate weight, because once you start adding on clothes, or you start drinking water, eat food, like, it's not as accurate as first thing when you wake up, because you're in a fasted state, anything on your stomach. That's the best time to do it. But again, so it changes throughout the day. So you can change, it could be a 5-pound difference. In the morning, it could be weighing 190, and then the night you're weighing 195, but then you're back to 190 in the morning. So again, it changes a lot. So that's one big thing that I don't like people focusing on the number. Again, we consistently want it to go down if we're trying to lose weight, or consistently want it to go up if we're trying to gain weight. But we don't want to solely focus on that one thing, because it can kind of start to mess with your mind, which is kind of my next point, is it can have a negative psychological effect, right? If that's all you're focusing on, and you're basing, your workouts, your eating, everything around that number, it's going to start to mess with your mind. And I've been there where it's like, that's all I focused on, and been all about counting calories. And I'm not saying counting calories is bad, because again, when it comes to weight loss, you do want to burn more calories than you take in, and that promotes weight loss, simply put. There are other factors, but that's the biggest one, which is why I think there's so many benefits of counting calories, but at the same time, you don't want to be doing it all the time. And I've listened to podcasts, I've read things that say the same thing, that, and I'll do the same thing. I'll track for a little while, and then I'll stop, because I've seen for myself, it kind of drives you crazy a little bit. And then I get super nitpicky. I'm that kind of person, and almost like a perfectionist about everything I'm putting into my body. It just it doesn't lead to a healthy relationship with food. Which again can have a negative psychological effect for a lot of people. And then obviously, if you're not losing the weight, and that's your main goal, and that's all you're focusing on, you're more likely to give up, So that's why I don't like focusing on just aesthetics and appearance, because one, it is superficial, but again, like, everyone wants to look good, they want to feel good about themselves, have that self-confidence, and I'm all about that. But at the same time, there's more to exercising and your health and wellness than just how you look. And again, I also think it can make exercising not as fun, right? Again, if you're focusing solely on the number on the scale, and it's not going down, you're not seeing the results you want, and that's all you're focusing on, like, you're not going to want to work out, right? It's not fun anymore, right? And it doesn't really motivate you to want to keep going. And then my last point, as far as aesthetics go, is obviously bodybuilding is a sport out there. It's almost like an art, I would call it. But if you talk to bodybuilders, it's not a healthy way. It's amazing what they can do, obviously the way you can change your body and stuff, but they're on super strict terms, right? They're kind of basically lowering their body fat to as low as they can go, to get, the most symmetrical, best looking body. But it's not a maintainable body weight and body fat percentage. You ask any of them, when you start to get, at least for guys, like sub 5, around 5% body fat, it's really hard for your body to maintain that, and it's not healthy. It can have a lot of negative side effects on your health. So again, it may look good, and it's great to do it. Like, I still want to do a show, I think, one of these days, just for the experience, but it's not something that I would maintain for the rest of my life, because I know it's not super beneficial for my health and longevity in the long run. But again, like I said, I do think there are benefits. Obviously you want to look good, you want to feel good, and it boosts that self-confidence. But that kind of leads me into my other category, so exercising for performance. So I think it's not solely just like if you're an athlete, running faster, lifting more weight, but also just how you feel, focusing more on the health and wellness and recovery side, mobility, stretching, sleep, hydration. That's kind of what it's an all-encompassing category for me. So for me, my first point is it's much easier to measure each day and week, right? So I think it's easier to, either have a weight goal, if you're going to lift more weights, or I'm going to do more reps, or I'm going to run farther, I'm going to walk farther, or I'm going to do one extra exercise. Like, there's a lot more things you can do to see an improvement in performance and kind of keep going with that, compared to just focusing on the number on the scale with weight. That's my first point. Second point is it's better for health and wellness. Like I said, focusing more on how you feel and how you're performing, is not only going to better your workouts, but it's how you feel and just your, at work, around your family and friends. Like, you're just going to feel better. And I've noticed it from experience, because like I've said, I've had times where I focus solely on weight loss and aesthetics and a certain look. But I've also done it where I just focus on performance, and I've seen a lot more benefits from that side. That being the biggest one is health and wellness, not only physically, but mentally as well, and psychologically. That's a bigger one, because obviously, like I said, there's more things you can measure, so then that leads to more improvement that you see. So then in the long run, it kind of, you feel more motivated, you feel more successful, and you're achieving something. And then my third point is better longevity, right? Like I talked about bodybuilding, it's not good for longevity, right? It doesn't really promote health and wellness. You're not staying at a, ideal body weight and body fat percentage to be a healthy individual. So focusing more on performance definitely leads to better longevity, which leads me to my next, like I said, so less worried about calories and more focused on eating quality foods. Just kind of watching what you put in your body. And like I know I did an episode before, a couple episodes ago, I did quality versus quantity, and how I think quality is more important when it comes to a lot of things, like with food, relationships. Quality ones, they last longer, they have more benefits. So the same thing with food, right? You want to feel your body to perform, right? This whole category is all about that. And you want to fuel yourself so you feel good, right? So you're not being super restrictive, and that can be the downside of being so restricted with your diet and calories, is that it can lead to people lashing out and going and binging and eating unhealthy food, rather than focusing more on, okay, I'm gonna eat all these quality foods, but okay, I'm gonna have a cheat meal, or I'm gonna have a little bit of dessert this day, and kind of helps you maintain that balance, psychologically and physically, because you're still you're rewarding yourself for putting in all this hard work and performing well. And I think that helps you stay a lot more consistent. And then just kind of my last 2 points. So it promotes a more healthy relationship with food. Like I said, rather than focusing on the calories and this is this many calories, this has this much sugar, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's just focusing on eating more like vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, good carbohydrates, hydrating yourself, things that make you feel good and will benefit your body in the long run. And lastly, what's kind of funny is when you start to focus on performance, it kind of leads you to that physique that you want, right? So I think what happens with you focus on physique is it stresses you out and kind of can trigger that cortisol, which can lead to weight gain. And again, it's just the whole negative mental side. So I think when you feel good mentally, physically, you're performing well, your body's feeling well, you're letting your body recover, you're hydrating, you're stretching, that, it all goes hand in hand and will lead you to having the body that you want. Obviously, still got to stay consistent. You got to maintain it. You got to eat right. All the above that I've talked about before. But I think, in my opinion, performance is a lot better. Obviously, if you're doing a bodybuilding competition or something, aesthetics is very important. But for the general person, I think focusing on performance is a lot better. And like I said, it will not only benefit your body, physically, but also mentally. And that's the biggest thing. And like I said, it's a lot easier to measure, in my opinion, day in and day out, and see progress off those measurements, rather than focusing on just the number on the scale. Because like I said, that's one thing that's always going to fluctuate, and we don't have a lot of control over that always. So again, focusing more on performance and all those things kind of leads to more improvement in your daily life. So that is it for today. Again, I hope I have an interview next week. I don't have anything lined up yet, so no promises, but again, that's the goal. I I just need to reach out to more people. You know, also I was out of town this week, so I wasn't really reaching out to anybody. I reached out to a couple people, but neither of them got back to me. So I'm gonna keep trying some others and get some interviews going for you guys. So again, thanks for listening. So again, I'll post this again on the video on my Instagram page at Kyler J Fitness, and then Daily Brotein with Kyler's on Spotify and Apple. And I think I'm going to try to put on YouTube as well. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for hopefully more interviews. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Talk to you later. Bye.